Okay, so we are beginning at the front of SDPC. We are in the Utah section. We have clicked to go to our state alliance. We are here. We're going to scroll down. And what we are looking at is our SDPC dashboard. There are a bunch of different things on here that you can take a look at, but I'm going to point you in the direction of the things that I think are most important. Okay. If you want to click view right here, you can see your district's statistics down here on the bottom. That is relevant to your specific districts. Some things that'll show here, like Granite right now currently has 27 inactive agreements, 3 agreements that have been declined, and 133 active agreements. And then there's all these other statistics in here as well. What I would like to point everybody to is this right here on this About USPA on the dashboard. There's this link right here that says Read On. This is the only place that I was able to sneak in some extra code. So if we clicked on Read On, it's going to take us to this page, which is welcome to the Utah Student Privacy Alliance, blah, 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 blah. The thing that's most important is this quick link right here. What we've developed is this USPA shared drive folder. The drive folder is kind of my favorite thing right now, because it allows me to give you access to all of my tools. I can keep it current. The things that are most important, I would say, is this folder up here, this monthly calls. What I would advise those of you watching this to do is to hang out in September. What September has to offer for you is this YouTube video that you can watch that goes step by step with this link. And actually, I think that what we'll do for the purposes of this call, Emily, if you don't mind, is we're going to kind of go through some of this just for the sake of understanding. But what I would like to do is show you first, and actually I may have to optimize my thing for sound, is, let's see here. Okay, so I developed this little cartoon, and I would like you to share it with your teachers.
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck. Grammarly has
Next.
Stop dieting. Seriously, don't bother dieting again, ever. Because you don't.
What happens when you're the tech person?
Ask before you app.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I want to thank you, panel, for all of your wonderful ideas and suggested tools. Hopefully, those of you in our audience are leaving today ready to deploy some of these ideas in your classroom. We'll see you next year.
Steve, what a great conference.
I agree.
I can't wait to start using some of those tools.
Me either.
Especially SuperLearn. I know my 5th graders will benefit from it.
Yeah, it looks like a really great program.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever clicked I agree to terms of service or shared student data with a third party without a data sharing agreement in place? Utah educators just like you want to get the best tools in the hands of their students, but Utah Law 53E-9-309 requires districts and charters to have a data sharing agreement in place with any third party that collects student information. What can you do before using a new application or website? Check the approved application list for your district or charter school, or contact your data manager. Familiarize yourself with your policies and procedures to protect your students and school from data breaches. Remember to ask before you app.
So we developed that for you to show your teachers so that you can create. You don't want to see all of that. Oh my goodness. We're recording this, and so it's getting all screwed up, of course, right? So that's there for you in this presentation to take that video and share with your staff or watch it in a faculty meeting, just to reaffirm that they should not be going to USAT or some cool charter school conference to where they all of a sudden want to have access to all these apps, and that they need to ask before they do it. So what I want to really kind of hone in on is you have teachers that want to request applications to use, and we want to get to a yes. How do we get to a yes? Well, this is how we get to a yes. We're going to talk about the Utah applications menu. What happens if it's not on the menu? And then these 5 steps, along with this mysterious 6th step that we'll talk about. If you have access to this, you can see that all of these things are going to be linked in here. You can have access to every single one of these things. I try to make it as plug and play as possible, but we're going to go over these 6 steps as quickly as possible. So, a teacher requests an app. What does your agency's procurement infrastructure look like? These are questions I want you to ask yourself. Who at your agency is involved in the decision-making process? And the reason why I bring this up is at different schools, it looks different. I mean, you may be a certain school that uses very little technology, or you may be one that uses quite a bit of technology. And you need to have some sort of process in order to keep your head from spinning. So certain schools, depending upon their size, have different infrastructures. What we would suggest is that you have maybe like a team that vets these things or looks into them, like a curriculum specialist, somebody on IT that wants to make sure that it's safe to use, somebody on admin that makes sure that it's something above board, and that finance wants to make sure that they want to pay for it. These are all people that maybe should be involved in your agency's process. Let me click through. So when do we need to get a data privacy agreement? Now, I know that we've talked about this if we've had our one-on-ones before, but I'm going to go through this real quick. It's like what we showed in the video, when the teacher is sharing PII, or just by clicking agree, that's saying I'm making a contract. So what we just did was we went to SDPC. As you can see, we're on the Utah instance. We go to read on, we go to that USPA shared drive folder. And what's in that are all these resources. And we're going to go through these resources real quickly. So here's the DPA flow chart. So the first part of this is, do you need to get a DPA if the vendor is not receiving any student data? You don't need to. If there's no exchange, there's no need for an agreement. But if there is, then we would continue down this flow chart. Is there a state contract on behalf of LEAs? And in a lot of instances there are, and in a lot of instances, those are going to be the ones that we're going to add today. We're going to try to add as many state contracts as we can. But one of the things that you may ask yourself is, how do I know if there's a state contract? Well, I'm going to show you how to find out. Schools can obtain written parental consent. Now that trumps everything. As you see down at the bottom again, we'll revisit parental consent. But what we've seen this used as is, like, maybe there's an after school program that wants to use a certain vendor, or maybe there's a second grade teacher that only wants to use something for a couple of students. It's probably easiest to get parental consent in those small one-off situations than it is to get a DPA or to go through all of this process. However, I would advise that parental consent is not the best practice, because it can be revoked. And what happens if not every student gets parental consent? What does that look like for instruction? That can be really difficult. If the vendor is providing a service similar to school photography, yearbooks, graduation announcements, that falls under directory information. Now, one thing that we want to reiterate here is directory information does not mean that you can just share everything because it's available. You have to go through those those reports that the kids have and check for those opt-outs. You can't share it unless you have that permission. So there are those opt-outs that are involved in directory information. We're going to go down the school official train now. If the vendor is general audience, it's a website or an app, and it's not specifically intended for K through 12, then we don't need to. One of the examples of this that I've found recently is like Grammarly. It's designed for I use it now. If you can't tell, my emails are perfect. But if you wanted to use, say, Wikipedia or YouTube, those don't necessarily count because those are designed for everybody. Now, YouTube Kids, that's not designed for everybody. That's designed for a K through 12 experience. And so in those situations, that's kind of the delineation for that, if it's designed for K-12, and most of the things that you're going to be using are fall under that. The next thing you'll see on that flow chart is the signed DPA. Now, how do we know if there's a signed DPA? I'll show you how to do that. But this next piece, if all provisions are covered by the vendor's privacy policies, which we're never going to really look at, it's really hard to sift through that stuff, or they have earned a third-party badge or pledge, then yes, they are good to use. Now, how do you know if they have a third-party badge or pledge? Because you're going to have to go scour the internet and find it. Or I've curated a list and I'm going to show you how to search for it. So the next thing, again, we've talked about is parental consent. If all else fails and the company is not going to sign a data privacy agreement with you and the teacher really just needs to use it, then yes, you can always get parental consent. So we can always try to find a way to get to a yes. So that's step one. The teacher requests an app. Step two is we go to the Utah applications menu. Now, this is something that we've designed to be kind of one-stop glance, one-stop shopping. Where can you find it? Well, we would go to Read On, of course. We would go to that shared drive folder, and it is this Google Sheet that you'll find under the shared drive folder. Now, if you're following along or if you're with us, and I feel like I'm not necessarily talking to the two of you that are here right now, I'm talking to an audience that doesn't exist, but I'm just trying to give you all these tools because we're going to talk about how to use the tools in just a little bit. But this, yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. I'm sorry, because mine doesn't say Read On, and every time I click the arrows, it's taking me to about the consortium.
Okay, so are you on the Utah one or are you on?
I'm logged in my own. Do I have to switch over to Utah?
Log in and then scroll down and it'll say in the middle, kind of visit my state alliance.
Gotcha. Okay, I apologize. That is, now I see it. Thank you.
No. I'm glad that it's working. I would hate to have it have disappeared because this website sometimes does stuff like that. So yeah, so here's where we would find this Utah applications menu. Now, up at the top, you'll find, I try to keep it current. That's where you'll find the last date that I edited it. The next thing is I want to preface that these are applications that have signed the student privacy pledge or applications that have earned the iKeepSafe badge or applications that are provided via state contracts or applications that one or more LEAs have vetted and secured a subscribable, piggybackable data privacy agreement. And we wanted to note that aside from the state products, USBE has not vetted these applications. So if you wanted to let your educators look at this, they would need to talk to you before adding a product on this list. But essentially, that's what this is. This is a menu of 950 products that if a teacher in your school wants to use it this morning, they can probably have access to it by this afternoon. Piece of cake. Or this morning, depending upon how many other things you have on your plate, which I'm sure you have many. So the first thing is there are 950 things on here. These are the resources names, the company names. Sometimes, you know how ed techs like to name themselves, it gets a little squishy. So instead of just scrolling, it's easier to use that Control F to search the list. So a teacher says, I want to use this. This is the thing that you bookmark. I'm going to say this is one of our bookmarkable pages is this. You come here, you search for it. If it falls under this other tab, you can see these three columns right here fall under other types of agreement. Those are state contracts and those two badges. Okay. This is how we would add that to our registry. So what we're going to do is Emily's got a list and we've sent it to you. It's on that appendix sheet of all of the state products that you should have listed. All of those state products are going to be on this menu, listed as USBE products. You would list them as an other type of agreement as well. So when you're going back and you're running through this video and you're going, I need to add a state product, a state contract, you would add it through the other type of agreement portal as well as these two privacy pledge badges. So I'm going to walk through how to do that right now. So you would go into add a new agreement. We always have a signed agreement. Yes. Other type of agreement. Now, this is where all of these other types of agreements are, is over on this far right. So everything that's in column C, D, and E, those other types of agreements, the state, the privacy pledges are all going to fall under this heading right here.
Okay, sorry, I need to go back. Add new agreement. I'm not finding that.
Right there.
Your district's, oh, agreements. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Oh, that's great. So we have add new agreement. We always have a signed contract. Other type of agreement. Okay. Now I'm going to pause real quick and I'm going to show you, because this is not a spot where we're really going to be talking about it again. But should you want to, hi Anna. Hi Anna, welcome. Should you need to add a parental consent, that's what legal drafted guardian release means, is parental consent. You would add it there, and you would find our model, oops, right there. That is our model parental consent form. So I'm just going off on the side of the road over here. We're talking about parental consent for 2 seconds. You would list it here, and you would find it here on the shared drive. Okay. But for the other purposes, this is where you would add one of those statewide agreements, the UETN, USBE, or you can see those badges right there, the I Keep Safe badge and the Privacy Pledge badge. So what I would like to do for the sake of exercise is, those of you that are logged on currently, if you would like to add one of the statewide agreements that is on our list, we could probably choose, if you haven't already, have it like Acadience or Rise or Utrex or Aspire, if that's what you use as your SIS. What I would suggest is go up to, if you can see my mouse wiggling around right here, you would select a resource.
So I can tell you that everyone who's joined Jefferson Scholar and Voyage are missing access for ELL.
Okay, perfect. So we can add access for ELL. And let me know.
Still trying to get to the agreement info.
Is it just being slow?
Well, I'm shortening my screen, and so then you're screen, and so I'm.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So
you don't have the pleasure of having 15 monitors.
No, I'm just a little secretary who has the little thing, the little monitor. Okay, so.
Well, what I can do is I can be more descriptive so that you can try to keep it on your screen.
Okay, well, I'm just shrinking yours a little bit more because they, but so I went to add new agreement. Was that correct?
So we're going to add new agreement.
Okay.
Yes, we have a contract.
Originating agreement finder. Select the agreement type.
So down on the bottom, we're going to select other type of agreement on the bottom right, the yellow button.
Other types of agreement. Okay, there we go.
And then what we should see is similar, if you can see both screens, mine and yours.
Yeah.
And those of you that just joined us, I know that you're going to feel a little bit behind, but in the meantime, please open up your SDPC accounts. We're going to try to get to a point where you can follow along. But what we are doing is we are recording this for the sake of you being able to revisit this. So don't feel like you missed too much, even though you've missed everything. So we're going to select a resource. That resource could be anything that you want, but for the sake of this, we are going to use access for ELL. Okay, and then
Highmark and Highmark joined us, and Highmark doesn't have access for ELL either, so it's applicable for all 4 of them.
Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that as a under agreement type, a USBE statewide agreement.
Oh, okay. I'm going back. Agreement type, select a resource. My screen doesn't look like yours.
Oh. Well, here, let me see if I can make my screen look like yours. So your district agreements. Oh, I gotta move your bases. Add new agreement. Yes, we have a signed agreement.
Okay, wait.
Other type of agreement.
Your district agreements.
Is everyone logged in? Can we ask? Jeff, are you logged in?
I think Jeff's following along.
I'm logging in right now.
And Crystal?
Let's try this again. Let me go back to the beginning of my process and we'll do this all together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm logged in, following along.
Okay. Step.
I just emailed you, Emily, for some help.
Okay.
Add new agreement. And then it's, yes, we
Yes,
have a signed agreement.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I have a search bar. Okay, that looks the same. Okay, following along.
Does it look the same?
Yep.
Okay, so then we're going to go over on the right to other types of agreements.
Okay. Oh, am I slow?
It's okay if it's slow. SDPC is a little slow.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pull this down and you could scroll if you wanted to, but there's 7,000 things in here. So what
Yeah.
I'd like to do is just type in right here, access. Takes a second. Just because it doesn't come up right away doesn't mean it's not thinking. Excuse me. There we go. Access for ELL. I don't know if you can see right here.
Okay, no search results.
You can, and all you need to do is just type like the first couple of letters or so.
Okay, perfect.
Tara, do you know what your login is? Thanks for joining us.
I do know what my login is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Crystal, were you able to get logged in?
Excuse me.
Sorry, Emily. Yes, I'm in.
Okay. And are we all on the same page then?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. We're all going to add access for ELLs. We've all got it selected as a resource. Hopefully, if not, then we will get there. But when we click this next one, agreement type, it'll be pulled down. You'll see there's all these different choices. According to the menu and our knowledge of this, the menu that we were looking at, for those of you that joined us, I'll show you the menu in a moment. But this is a USBE statewide agreement. So I select that. Now there's a lot of stuff on here and I'm asking myself, well, what else do I need to put in here, John? Do I have to be super thorough and put all of this stuff in here? And my answer to you is no. For the purposes of the law and for the purposes of this registry and for the purposes of communicating with your faculty and families, what we need is this resource. We need the agreement type and we need this metadata. We need to know what grades are using it. And it's maybe different at each one of your schools. So you could either select all and unselect the ones that you don't use. Maybe you're just K through 9 and it's a lot easier to go like that. Or you're just, so you select the grades that you're using for access ELLs. I think it's K through 3 anyway.
I think K-12.
Is it? Okay. And then we would select the content area. I think that we landed on ones like this, like putting world language as the content area. This differs by the product that we use. There's a lot of other information right here that is not necessarily applicable to those of us in Utah. So I'm going to continue down to, and you'll find this in Emily's PowerPoint. She did a really thorough PowerPoint on how to add these. This other information. These are the pieces that we need to add for the sake of being compliant with the law. So you'll see with justification, there are 3 choices. The first one is a federal requirement. Now, very few things are a federal requirement other than like child nutrition programs. Okay, so this is not a federal requirement. This is a state contract, and it is a state requirement. I believe this is a requirement, but if it's not, sometimes there are state contracts, like with Canvas or Adobe or something like that. We have a state contract, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's required. You are required to have like an LMS. You are required to have like an SIS, but the state's not telling you which one. So in that instance, you would use local decision. Now, for the purposes of this, let me double check. Let's do this. I really want to make sure that you guys use a lot of the instructions that Katie has put together. She's next level thorough when it comes to being able to instruct. So what I would suggest everybody do is, if you don't already have access to this, and I'm going to put it in the chat, is that Katie has made it so that everything in here is very cut and dry. We're going to go to Appendix E. Because it's like page 64. Oh, goodness, John. Still loading. So what she has on here is all of the things that you would have. This is basically, if you wanted to take this instructions document and make your own copy for yourself, what you could do is, as you see right here, page 64, I mean, even prints, pages 64 through 68, I believe. And those are all of the potential statewide products. And she's already filled out for you what you would put in SDPC. So for example, we will go to the one that we are talking about right now, which is, remind me, I can't remember.
Access for ELLs.
Oh, and it's called WIDA, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's this one. So what?
Could you open up your table of contents on the left also? Do you mind?
Uh-huh. How do I do that?
Is it that little icon down in the corner?
There. Okay. So right here, Appendix F, you can see that Access WIDA is the product, right? WIDA does not exist in SDPC as we need it to. It refers to some other product. So as you can see here, this column is titled Resource Name in SDPC. So you would find it as Access for ELLs. The product name if you use Learn Platform. The notes. So this is the purpose, right? We'll put this in as the purpose. The justification, which is what we were just talking about, federal requirement, state requirement. So it looks like we could actually put federal requirement in addition to state requirement for this one, according to what Katie has told us. And then FERPA exception, it could be either one of these: school official, which it is 9 times out of 10, or audit evaluation, which it looks like it is that 1 time out of 10. So essentially what you have here on pages 64 through 68, if you want to print those, is a cheat sheet on all of the things that we need to add to this registry should you be using them. I'm going to go back to where we're adding an agreement. So remember, it said for this one, access for ELL, we could do federal and state, and we could do school official and audit evaluation. And if you were to click continue, which I am not able to because I'm on a Granite's account and they would freak out. Actually, I'll just delete it later because I have that power. They won't even notice. It gets to this point and you're like, wait a second, we need to put all of this data in here. And my answer is, yeah, you do. But for a lot of these state contracts, we don't have access to that. So we skip this step. And then it takes us to this page. And then this is where we put that purpose. So I would go up.
Add an error.
Oh, I would go back and try it again. And maybe you had omitted something.
Nope, it's trying to highlight something no matter what I do.
And mine did the same.
So you all incurred an error.
So could it be English language? Yeah, it just makes a gray box and you have to select at least one thing.
For what?
It makes a gray box, so I have to select at least one thing.
For which?
Can she share her screen?
I don't know how to do that.
Jeff, you want to share your screen if you're getting it too?
Let me get my.
I think John might need to stop sharing. Crystal or John or someone who gets an error message, you want to show us your screen? You click on share screen. Thanks, Jeff.
You have to click one of the FERPA exceptions. Oh, but it moved through. So school official, that works. Click continue. And then skip this step.
And yeah. See how it makes it gray?
Why? Well, it shouldn't have done, you shouldn't have clicked anything yet, did it?
No, we didn't.
Go back. Can you just click skip this step in the top right? There.
Okay. So the other skip doesn't work.
That wasn't skip, it was save, but that's fine.
Oh, okay.
That was the key. You figured it. So we got to do the skip the step in the top corner.
Skip the step in the top corner. And then I'm gonna, let's see.
And Chris, I saw you writing it out. These are pretty step-by-step with the PowerPoint, but you can write notes to help reinforce if you'd like.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, so this is where Katie's document is awesome. We go to Katie's document, we find the one that we're doing, which is the WIDA one. We go into this purpose right here. I'm going to copy the purpose right here. I'm going to go into SDPC. I'm going to paste the purpose right here. And then I'm going to save the resource info.
That is awesome.
And that's it. And it just adds it.
And so it took us a few minutes to add this one, but if you guys add a second one, it's not going to take you more than what, like 90 seconds.
Right. Well, as long as the site takes to render. So here's my kind of suggestion as a way to attack this. Is you have this sheet, this document up. We're going to start, you print it. I like an old school, like cross it out kind of thing on the side or just delete the rows. But we just start with Utrex, bang that one out, state requirement, audit evaluation. I mean, you could even do one of these things. I don't know if some of you know this trick, but if you're on a PC, you click the tab like this and you slide it over to one side and let it lock. And then on the other side, this one will lock. And then you can have both of them up at the same time. And then, just go down. And then, SDPC, do you see how it renders really weird sometimes if it's not like open as big as you want? I always like to hit Control minus. Well, it did that on that one. Control minus, and it will make it smaller so that you can actually.
Oh, that's good to know.
So it will make your browser, the window, it'll like zoom you out a little bit. Or, Crystal, if you needed to zoom in, you could do that as well.
With a plus sign. And you could also do Control and your scroll button.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lazy and don't want to take your hand off the mouse.
So what we're looking at here is we've got this list and we've got this. So I'm going to go back to add new agreement. See how it hides down here sometimes? Okay, 67%. Yes, we have a new agreement. Other type of agreement. And then I'm going to make those 3 clicks, add an agreement. Yes, we have an agreement, other type of agreement. Those 3 clicks, we get here, then we go over to the right. I'm going to add Utrex. So I'm going to select this. I'll wait for it to come up. We'll search. I'll type in UTREX. We'll wait for the gerbils to run from here to Washington, D.C. and back from Cambridge, Massachusetts, or this
If
site.
they want to do a second one, then they can do Acadians, formerly Dibbles, and let's see, Jefferson could do Aspire instead.
I wish this site would freaking work sometimes. Man.
Maybe Katie needs to push the deadline a little bit.
Did you know that we did it to the 15th?
Yeah, I'm just pushing for more. Always
Always.
I'm just
well, and
looking out for my schools.
We're of the mindset that maybe January would be better. Next year, we can't really make any changes on that this year, but
I think the first few months of school are super, super busy.
yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
I wish this thing would freaking work. Anyway, for the sake of time and argument, this is kind of how I would attack this. I would have one either printed out or on my screen and SDPC, and I would just put all these state things in. And you've seen how we do it. You can see that these things on the table align with the stuff that we're putting into the registry. And once we get those state ones, then it's really a matter of how do we add the non-state ones.
Yes.
Are there any questions thus far? I feel like there's half of you that have been with us from the beginning and half of you that are kind of joining us late.
And that was my bad. I told them the wrong time initially. I thought it was going to be 1:30.
That's my fault for not reading the email thoroughly enough.
So I understand the state contracts. It's more the other ones now, and that I have some that say inactive and how to reactivate them.
Okay.
I can say also that none of them have put in Eid Bailey.
What's I mean?
They're the auditors that review your reports of student information.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Are they on that list?
They're not on our list.
They're on a list.
So could we do a walkthrough with iBailey since they're not on the list?
Let me make sure that they're in the registry.
Yeah, I added them with another school earlier today.
Okay. So what we do is the same process. Your district agreements, add a new agreement.
Okay.
Yes, we have a signed agreement. Other type of agreement. And then the resource. Now spell it out for me, please.
EIDE. And for the schools, Scholar has Academica put in already, but the other 3 need to join, and you'll be doing it the same way.
Hold on, mine just froze. Give me just a second.
Yeah, it's a little bit wonky.
Okay, mine's totally frozen. So I'll just catch up. Go ahead.
My internet is not wanting to work right now. Oh, either. My Chrome keeps saying like, I'm not working for you. What in the world is happening?
So my Chrome keeps doing that. That's interesting. Probably my 7th time today so far.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought it was my computer, but now you
maybe it's Chrome. I'd Bailey, an agreement type. How did you want that listed, Emily?
I'm looking.
Other.
Maybe no agreement or vendor specific.
Okay, because that would be the, I mean, what I would suggest is maybe it's other metadata dictionary, just something that we need to put, that it needs to be in the metadata dictionary, but it doesn't really fit any of our specific headings. But the vendor specific works for me too. Remember, this is not something that you're telling me here at USBE, John, I'm doing this. This is you communicating with your faculty and families. This is an advertisement to your community. These are the things that we're using. If there are little tiny mistakes, or like I put 9th grade and I really meant 8th grade, like that's kind of negligible stuff. What we want is we want the agreements. We want to know who the vendor is, and that's essential. And then the little tiny stuff on the side. So vendor specific, you would add in probably all of your grades. How would you content area other?
Yeah, because it's student enrollment information, not curriculum.
And then local decision, school official.
Audit and evaluation for FERBA?
No, that's more of like an assessment or something like that. So it's a school official. School official means that they're acting as like that they're doing something that the school would otherwise pay somebody to do.
Okay.
School. And then continue, and then we'll do the. I mean, unless you guys know what the data, I can't move forward on this because Granite does not have an agreement, but.
Yes, let's see if these guys can take the next step.
I'm to the purpose of just writing the purpose, but since they're not listed on that list, do I just put auditor?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can just decide right now what you want to put.
They might even be on that list. They're a common auditor for districts even.
Let me do a quick.
But the purpose is auditing student records for state and federal reports.
Emily, I'm not familiar with Eid Bailey. Do we use that at Highmark?
I think all the schools have been using Eid Bailey for accounting audits and enrollment audits. You don't typically work with them because we provide the reports. Like we'll send them your October 1 enrollment reports and they'll compare it.
Okay.
I think you typically don't see them.
I'm searching the metadata dictionary document to see, and I think we're just waiting for it to. Oh, it looks like Katie's in here too. She's probably like, oh, look at all the people that are using my document. She's gonna be so happy.
I can't imagine the hours and months of work that went into this.
Isn't it so like, it's so nice. Yeah, I don't think that Eid Bailey is on here.
Okay.
Let me send her.
I saw them somewhere. There was even like ETS was on there for IT services. I could be wrong though. Some of those pages are all swimming in my head right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I think if for this purpose of the training, if they would just say auditing student records for purposes of state and federal reporting, it's fine.
Okay.
And then if Chrissy could share her screen and you could walk her through how to work with her manage agreements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do you
Jeff?
share?
Oh, Jeff has them on his screen too.
Where did my Zoom go? I can't find any of my stuff.
If you push escape, it might show up.
There we go.
The reason for using that Eid Bailey, where's the column we put that in?
You're really muffled, Crystal. Could you say it again?
Sorry, I was asking where it is that we put in our reason for using Eid Bailey. I didn't see that spot.
there should be one on the third, after you skip this step where it's asking for all the data, there should be one that says purpose, like what is the purpose of this? And that's where you would put that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I can't navigate to that one. Or else I would show you. Do you want me to go back to sharing?
Oh, you were talking to me. You can't,
I'm good, but.
which one can't you navigate? Or did you want, sorry, where are we at? Do we want to look at Christie's or Jeff's manage agreements?
I can. Oh, who, Jeff?
Well, let me do this. You guys can kind of, let me go back to talking about this real quick for those of us that missed it. So those of you that arrived late, what I want to do is I'm going to just talk about this menu real quick. So what you'll do, a teacher requests an app. The first thing I would like you to do is go to this menu. How do you find this menu? You go to the front page of SDPC. I don't know if you're able to see my screen, but you would hit this read on button under, and you also want to make sure that we're in Utah right here. And then we want to click read on, and it takes us to this USPA shared drive folder. This is the folder, and let's do this right now just for the sake of efficiency. I am going to go to the folder. And when my internet wants to work, are there like sun flares or something happening? We're all like experiencing weird internet. Okay, so if anybody wants to go, bookmark the link that I just put in the chat, please.
You can create a folder and create a bookmark. The folder named SDPA.
Okay, so I'm just going to go over this folder real quick. So the monthly calls are up here at the top, screenshot, video tutorials. Please watch the September monthly call if you get a chance to. If anybody uses Scratch, please let me know. There's special guidance in order to use the coding program Scratch.
Could you guys put in the notes if you do use Scratch?
Yeah, please put in the chat. Does anybody here use Scratch?
I don't know what that is, so probably.
Sorry, we do at Mountain West, yes.
It's programming robots, mostly younger kids.
Yeah. So let me go through Scratch real quick. There's special guidance from the state, and maybe what you want to do is go through and read this on your own. And but there's guidance from the state. There's two kind of flags about Scratch that are of concern. One, Scratch recently made a change to their account creation, asking new users to describe their sex, either boy, girl, or non-binary. That interrupts a lot of our laws and how things are done within the state of Utah. So in order to continue to use Scratch, there is guidance right here for any teacher that wants to facilitate Scratch down here. The other flag is that there is an online community, and that is of an issue as well. And there is some guidance down here as to how to bypass that. So those of you that are using Scratch, please click on this link and please distribute this to your teachers, those that are using it. I know that there are some schools that use it in some of their after school programs.
It really, really is important.
It's a super, super great program. But one of the best, I mean, this goes back to the this right here, this document. I would say that if you want to use Scratch, you may want to go about using it in the way that is described in that guidance, or getting parental consent. And this is a parental consent. This consent disclosure right here is a model parental consent document. This document right here we'll use when you all become more sophisticated. This is that application menu that I want to talk about. So what we did, those of you that joined us late, and just for reaffirmation, please bookmark this application menu. So those of you that are following along, you can click and please open it up and bookmark it. This is going to be, if a teacher asks for an app in your district, my hope is that this is the first place that you go. What it has is 950 different apps on it. I keep it curated. As you can see, when you log on, there's a whole bunch of people that are already on using this. A lot of people in the state are using this tool. So the first thing that we want is, now that you're accessing it, let's go back to this presentation. So now that a few of you, now we've gone through a little bit of the steps, hopefully this will reinforce some of the things that we've talked about. So we were just here, we click on the menu. Like I said to those of you that were watching earlier, this is the last date that it was updated. These are some things that we need you to know about these agreements. But if anything is on this website, you can use it. It is like a menu at a restaurant. You can order it. If there's something on here that one of your teachers wants to use, they can use it. You just have to log it in your registry appropriately. Now, there's these two things. This makes sense to you now. If it's in column C, D, or E, you would add it as an other type of agreement, right? Like we've been doing for the past little bit. Like we added all the state ones that we just did as other types of agreements. If it has a privacy pledge or an I Keep Safe badge, we would add it as an other type of agreement. And this is what we just did. We added as a new. Yes, we have a signed agreement. Other type of agreement. We're going to bypass. This is either I Keep Safe, privacy pledge, or the statewide agreements. Make sure that you put in the justification and the FERPA exception. Okay, now this is the second piece. We've talked about a lot of the state things, everything that's on Katie's list, boom, 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 boom. Katie has other things on her list as well. Let me go and hide my floating control panels. Let me scroll down to page. Okay, so 60. She's got Appendix G here, which is interesting. These are commonly used products, okay? ABC, yeah, Big Ideas Math, Book It, all of these things. How do we add all of these things that we may or may not be using? Oh, look, there's Qualtrics. Weren't we talking about that just a little bit ago? Local decision, probably school. Okay, anyway. So if we go to this menu here, you can see add the, so if it's on here and it's in column F, you can add it via what we call the Exhibit Easy button. So I'll show you how to do that. These are for all of the, so you've come to the menu, your teacher wants something and it falls under one of these. So say, for example, you're on line 8 and your school wants third millennium classrooms, and you see that there's a Utah DPA from Granite that expires the day before I turn 45. You're all doing math now. This is how we would do it. We would not go through and add it via the new agreement. We would go through an auto Exhibit E, just like it says on that blue thing above it, add via the Exhibit E creator. We're going to add via Exhibit E. What happens is it's going to come up and there's going to be a search bar. Use the search bar. If it doesn't come up, and we talked about this a little bit, I think Emily and I have discussed this with folks. If it doesn't come up, these are the 3 reasons why you're not going to see it. It's already on your registry and maybe you need to delete it to re-add it. There isn't an agreement in Utah with that vendor, which if you're looking at the menu, it has an agreement in Utah, or the originating agreement has expired. But let's say that it is in there. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to is sometimes there's a warning on this. Why would there be a warning? Weird. It's because it's vendor specific. What that means is the vendor has gone through and changed some of the expectations for the contract. You can agree to those as long as you agree to those same terms. And you can usually rest assured that they're usually things in as far as like terms, as far as the length of notifying somebody in case of a something. If another district agrees to it 9 times out of 10, you can feel comfortable agreeing to it as well. So if you're going to create an Exhibit E, you just click this teal button. You do the same metadata. You do the same justification and FERPA exception. And that's it. So step
Can you
one.
give them a few examples of the most common Exhibit E's?
Sure. Okay. Now, well, this might be hard because I can't really search for them.
Was it in
So-
Katie's document of
Yeah,
was it?
on Katie's document. So on,
You can open up your table of contents on the left again a little bit faster. And all the appendices are at the bottom.
okay, G. Okay, so if you want to go through G and, I mean, maybe you print up Appendix E, F, and G. You cross off everything that's on E, F, and G, or E and F, and then you go through G and just find 10. Just find 10 things that are on G. And
For
if they're
example-
not, then go through and find them on the menu.
So like Canva,
Mm-hmm.
that creator, it would be an Exhibit E.
Potentially. So what I would do is I would go to the menu. I'm going to click Control F. I'll type in Canva. And as you can see on line 110, Canva for education, there's 2 choices. You can either add it via a privacy pledge, or we can jump onto Murray's. I would probably jump onto the one that Murray has. So for the sake of exercise, what I would like for you guys to do is go to, and I can't, well, maybe I can do this. Your district agreements. Tell me when you're, tell me if you're not ready, I guess you could say.
Okay.
We're going to go to your district agreements, and then we're going to scroll down to Auto Exhibit E Creator. And then it's going to take a second to render, of course. When we were on our last call, it took like 10 minutes for it to load our thing. It was so embarrassing. Okay. So because it's going to render all this stuff. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to type Canva. And there you go. You see it. It's got an NDPA with Murray. And I just click this button right here, create Exhibit E. And it takes however long it wants to load it up. Oh, that was quick. Let me know when you guys are ready to go.
Okay.
So if you have Canva, go down, let me know what grades use it. Let me know what content area you use it for. And then this is where it gets a little bit tricky. They snuck that purpose part right here. So maybe what I would put for Canvas is, or Canva is like media content creation. I mean, it can be, really when it comes to the purpose, it's you telling the parent what the thing does and why you're using it.
Okay.
And then go ahead.
I have a question. So it's not really grade specific. It's the office that's using it for the marquee sign.
Okay. Are you using it? Is any student data being exchanged on it?
No.
Then you don't need to list it.
Okay. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. But if students are using it, or if student
Like a student has an account and creating, then the student would have to list it. Okay.
Yeah. So if there is no data being exchanged, then you don't need, if it's something that just the teachers are using, like they're using Adobe Express to make like cute little things for their classroom, but they're not having the kids log on and make presentations or make things for their science fair board or whatever it is.
Then we don't.
It's only if they click if there's student PII that's being shared. So
And
for
I
those,
think one of the, sorry, John, one of the measurements for that is, can the teacher tie it back to the student?
Okay,
If the teacher can't tie it back to the student, or if the student loses their work when they log out and there's no way to get it back, then they're probably fine.
that's a-
okay,
that's a
perfect.
good distinction. So yeah, we would put, if this is something that you are using in that context, put the purpose, local decision, school official, and then you click create exhibit E. I'm not going to do that because Granite does not want to sign on to Canva,
Okay,
but if you do, then you can.
all right, so how do we take care of the inactive ones that
Right.
were in exhibit E?
So what we would do what I would do, and you can't share your screen.
I can share now. I figured out how to share.
Okay, hold on, give me a second and we'll walk through and do that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, share. I clicked it. Now what happens?
You select which window you want to share.
Yep. Okay,
Cool.
at work.
Yeah, just maximize it so we can see the whole window.
Oh, yeah. So I have this one here, Generation Genius. It's
Okay,
inactive.
so what I would do is let's go up to the menu on your browser tab, the sheet.
Oh, up here and check.
And let's just check it. Let's type in, yeah, over there.
That one, okay.
And where it says typing, delete that and type in
Generation.
generation.
Generation. Nope.
Which is weird because I feel like Generation Genius is something that I've heard of quite a bit.
Try typing in Genius.
Name Genius.
No, that's not it. Genius Music Online.
Nope. Okay, that's
All right.
the 4.
So, well, let's just try it anyway. Let's go up to, because it may be one that I haven't updated yet.
Okay.
Let's go up to your district agreements over on the left. Well, actually go to view inactive agreements. I apologize. It's a yellow button right there in the middle of the screen.
Oh, view inactive agreements.
The one on the right.
Inactive. Sorry. Let me go to inactive.
I'm trying to touch my screen and it's not working.
View inactive. I have quite a few of them. So.
Okay. Generation Genius, Mastery Connect, Nitro Type. Okay. So let's go in and delete over on the right. Let's delete Generation Genius.
Okay.
And then yes, the yellow button.
Okay.
Yeah, they trick you there, guys.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to go to your district agreements on the left. Auto exhibit E creator.
Okay.
And then let's let it load. And then type in Jan. Oh, snap. It's in there.
Okay.
See, I haven't updated it yet.
Okay.
Create exhibit E.
Create exhibit E and
scroll down. What grades use it?
Every grade.
It was added October 4th, so yeah, it's pretty recent.
I've been trying to upload different PDFs and it's not letting me, so I haven't been able to.
I think it's science, isn't it? Generation or math.
We can always update it, but yeah, let's go for that.
Okay. Purpose. Look, it's in right there to teach math, science.
It's already filled in. Wow.
Decision, and I agree, right? Nothing else?
I agree. Yep.
That's how fast and easy most of your apps are going to be to add. It's going to be like 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be if it's, and that's the thing is like, if it's on the menu, of course, the menu needs to be updated because it's been about a month. You can guarantee that it's going to take about 60 seconds to add it to your registry.
Okay. Sorry, I stopped sharing. So
I think John has a couple we can take a look at that are off.
Not many that I can actually subscribe.
Sorry, I meant Jeff. Jeff, you want to share your screen? Oh, he might be with a student. I think I can do it on my end. Let's see.
You're okay.
Loading.
Sorry, I was just trying to pull mine up.
Oh, good. I will stop sharing. Where's my Zoom?
Mine says I'm already screen sharing, but
Oh, good.
not seeing it. Are you guys seeing anything? No. You try.
I just stopped sharing. You should be able to share now.
Okay. There. Is that Sharon?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And we're looking for one that's not in the regular.
If you look at your manage agreements, Jeff.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go through and see if you've got one that we need to update.
Okay. I think I'm
okay. It's going to loop you in a weird way. It gets, hold on, just go down and over on the left where it says Alliance homepage. I'll go up a little bit higher.
Oh, sorry about that. I
That's
clicked.
fine.
Go back to Utah, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
And then manage.
Sometimes this site can be a little clunky, but it's way better than what we had before.
Oh my gosh. View and active agreements, that right yellow button on the top.
This one right here.
Oh, up above. Yep, that one.
He had a couple where I think he was requesting a new application or a new contract.
And that was me trying to figure it out, but I didn't know what I was doing. I can definitely see a lot clearer after this. I appreciate it. Some of them were me fiddling, just seeing like the brain pop and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So like Starfall, because I know some teachers use it, but truth is, I think they just use the web version. I don't think they're putting kids' information in. So typing.com.
Let's add that one. So delete that one.
Okay.
I think Starfall you can delete because you can't tie it back to a kid.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm rejecting. All right. Let's see.
That's what I'm looking, Class Dojo or Duolingo.
Yeah, we can delete those.
So even Class Dojo, even though like they put the students' names in?
No, I'll show you how to add them correctly.
Oh, gotcha. Sweet.
Yeah, it's like you're wanting to create a new contract with them and there's already an existing contract that you can piggyback off.
Oh, see, and that again, I think I was messing trying to do that. Okay, and Duolingo, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. We can maybe take it one at a time, just so we don't have to write down the ones you're deleting.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
That's why I wanted to review yours because I saw those earlier.
Okay, so let's do Class Dojo.
Okay.
So we do.
So let's go up to the menu. Do you have the menu open?
Oh, yes, I do.
Let's see how we should add it because there might be some choices.
Okay.
So we can add it either the privacy pledge or Murray just signed a new NDPA.
Sweet.
So let's jump onto Murray's. So you can go over to the auto exhibit E.
Okay, sorry, and I don't want to go too fast. There we go.
No, you're fine.
And then
let it render.
I was actually going to say I'm going to time you on this one.
Okay, and Dojo.
And then the teal button right below.
All right. Mine seems a little slow.
Oh, that's not unheard of.
Okay.
Well, then I'm going to do this just because I'm funny. Let's see.
There it goes.
Oh, cool.
Okay, everything. We're just K through 8.
Yeah.
Oops.
I've seen some schools get lazy and just say select all, and that's not, it's
Not.
not going to take away your charter.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. So technically it's not used for any of this, but it could be used for any of these. So it's kind of a hard one.
No other. Class Dojo is very all encompassing.
Okay.
Yeah. Purpose.
We can go back and look, right?
Well,
Oh,
no.
that wasn't on that one, huh?
Yeah, you're right. This is the one where we kind of crafted ourselves. What do you want to
I
say?
can say
I don't
like
know.
classroom management and communication. Is that something you
That's almost exactly what I was going to say. Classroom management and communication. See, he uses Grammarly too.
Well, that's the only way I survive.
Local decision.
Okay.
School official.
All right.
I agree. Accept Exhibit E.
Dude, that's slick.
So yeah, besides the wait time, it's about 60 seconds.
And here's what I want to show all of you real quick is how this Exhibit E widget works for you. Emily really likes the term piggybackable. So you just piggybacked on Murray's agreement. As soon as that thing freaking loads.
Like a yeah, me too agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
That is
That's great.
honest to goodness, this is like way slow. I thought it wasn't working before. A few when I was testing, it took too long. I thought
it's not a you thing, it's an us thing. Well, it's a them thing.
Yeah.
But maybe what it's doing. So what it does
There we go.
is simultaneously when you click that button, it's doing three things. It's emailing the vendor, telling them that you have subscribed.
Sweet.
Whoa, we've got a bunch of Class Dojos on there. Let's scroll
You know
down.
what?
Click on the one right there that says Exhibit E.
That one right there.
Click that. Scroll down. That's how the widget works.
That is awesome.
So instead of you printing it out and signing it and and uploading it and going like 60 seconds, I mean, if you guys if you wanted to wait for the button, you could wait for the button and maybe in the time you could print it out and sign it and do all that stuff, but maybe not. So
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's awesome.
I have another question. I just had one, Alexandria, which is Companion Corp, which is on her document.
Okay.
In the green document, it's number line 37. It says to add it as an Exhibit E. It has a expiration date of 10/8/22 on that exhibit. So when I'm trying to add it as an Exhibit E, it doesn't pull up. There is no Companion Corp or Alexandria.
Because it has expired and I have yet to update that menu. So if it's expired on the menu, we can't do it unless in the meantime, they have updated it.
Okay.
We may have. So what we could do is we could switch over to your screen and we could walk through it if you wanted to.
Okay, because I just deleted it thinking I was supposed to delete and then add it, but then it wasn't there.
Yeah, well, we can look again.
Okay, so.
And if not, then what we'll do is just put it on the side and we can try to acquire it.
Okay, so I'm already on Exhibit E. I'm searching for it.
Just do comp, C-O-M-P, and let's see if.
Yeah, I've tried.
A company.
Bookshelf.
Or Alex, A-L-E-X.
I tried that too.
Oh, is that what it is? A-L-E-K-S, Alex?
No, it's Alexandria, A-L-X-E-A-N-D. So there's nothing for Companion.
So so go up to the top, your district agreements.
Oh, okay, back to my district agreement.
Go to, view all state DPAs.
View.
You were just on it. It's the third from the bottom.
Oh, right there. Okay. Hello. I was thinking.
Okay. Now over on the search, this is a little bit like high level sophistication, but let's just type in companion and hit enter.
Oh, there it is. Iron County and Quest Academy.
So click on the actual agreement where it says Utah DPA version 2 with Exhibit E, that link,
This one right here,
the hyperlink, the blue one. Nope, not that one. Yep, that one.
that one. Okay.
So the Wielandman School of Discovery did this in
20.
And it looks like, let me do something. Let me be kind of a troll. Give me just 2 minutes. I know we're still recording.
Okay.
Oh, I'm still in. Here's what I'm going to do. It was signed in 2020. It should not be expired yet. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So give me 2 seconds. It's, what's it called again? Sorry,
Companion Corp or Alexandria?
I wonder if they deleted it. Maybe they deleted it. View inactive payments. Well, yeah, they don't have it. So what we would do in this instance where it doesn't exist as a current agreement is we would create we would go to them and have them sign a new agreement.
Okay.
That sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, lots of fun.
Guess what? It's super easy. Okay, here's what I want you to do real quick. Go down all the way to the bottom of this agreement.
Okay.
And my camera's down here on my laptop, but my big screen's right here. So it looks like I'm praying as we're doing this and going like, hallelujah. Okay, what we're interested in is all the thing down. Can you copy that email address on the very bottom line?
Yeah, well.
Okay. No, you can click on it though. It looks like maybe.
Oh, look it.
Okay, minimize that. Keep it, minimize it.
Okay, well, I'm minimizing it twice. I guess I clicked it on twice.
Let's go back to, okay. Now what I want you to do, now this is for everybody. This is kind of the technique that we're doing when we need to. So remember, step 1 was the teacher requests an app. Step 2 is that we go to the menu. 950 products, something should be on the menu. If it's not on the menu, we're gonna need to figure out how to get a new agreement. This is what we're doing, getting a new agreement. Now, this is not going to be difficult because they've already signed agreements. They'll probably turn it around within the next day or so. So what I would say is go up to your tab that says USPA public folder.
Okay.
Okay. Open the one that says model email language. Right there. Okay. Double click that. Okay, hit Control A.
Oh, I'm on a Mac, so.
Apple A.
Okay.
Apple C.
Apple C.
Go to your email.
Yep, trying to find where that was.
Control V. Okay, minimize.
Minimize, okay.
Okay, let's go back to the folder. Okay, close this whole document. You don't need it anymore.
Okay.
Okay, go down. You see that NDPA V1 PDF? Double click that. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do. Download it. Over on the right, you see the, yeah, come on. Okay. Double click and open that. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Okay, this is for all of you. This is what I would suggest. This is a 20-page document. You only need to do what we're doing right now. Put your LEA name on this part where it says LEA's name. Okay, go to page 2. Nope, I don't want you to put anything there.
Page 2.
Okay, you see where it says Jefferson Academy?
Yep.
It's already been put in there. Go in and put your street, city, and state. Okay, go to page 3.
Oh, not a zip code?
Oh, yeah, you could do that.
Okay, page 3,
And put your name above that.
right here.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Okay.
Phone number, email.
Oh.
Okay, go to the top where there's the download button
Okay.
with changes. Save it as JA or Jefferson Academy NDPA. And then save it to wherever you're going to find it and leave it all the time. No, don't put companion.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Because what's going to happen, and you can get rid of that hyphen too.
I'll just leave it for that.
Whatever. Okay, now go back to your email.
Oh, all these things. Email, come on, pop up.
There we go.
It's not showing up on my side yet. What in the world?
Yeah, there you go. Weird.
Sorry. Email.
Okay, attach.
Sorry, you guys see all my stuff.
There you go.
And then subject.
Companion and DPA.
Right.
No, there's no second. There's no first A.
NDPA. Okay.
National Data Privacy Agreement. Send.
Send. Excellent. Here we go. Okay.
Jefferson Academy, you could be the first one to get a DPA with companion in Utah, and then everybody can piggyback on you.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. And now we wait. So the thing is 20 pages, the vendor does the rest. Okay. And what I want is if
Out of the office till next week. Okay, fine.
Darn. And what I want is, and here, I'm going to share real quick. And I don't know how much time you folks still have. I know that school is probably ending here in a little bit, if you're lucky. But let me go to this, and just to kind of reaffirm that we know where we are in this process, okay? Okay, so if the agreement that, see, you did exactly what I needed you to do. Shh, don't tell anybody that we rehearsed, don't worry. If the agreement that you're searching for is not on the menu, go to step 3, okay? That's what we did. We went to step 3. We're gonna search the national database. We look to see if it's in other states. We look to see if it's active. We look to see if there's an agreement, when it was approved or not approved. And then we do what we just did. That model email language, that document right there, they're located right there. We just saw that. I mean, we rehearsed this so well. First 3 pages, that's all you need. Okay, then we send. Now what's gonna happen is they're gonna send you something back.
Okay.
And what I need from all of you is when you get that back is that you need to kind of audit it in a way, okay? So the audit of it comes in, did they check any boxes? Did they make sure that they signed it? Okay. And remember recording this, and this is on that YouTube video that I did as well. The YouTube video is going to be a lot shorter than this meeting, especially if you watch it in halftime. There's me. That's the body of the text. None of the stuff that I'm looking at there is going to be changed. We don't redline the body of the text because it meets the floor of Utah's law. Exhibit A should not be left blank. Sometimes they will be lazy and leave it blank. This is where they need to put their description of services. Okay, this is the purpose.
Okay.
This goes back to what you were talking about, Christy, is what if the teachers are just using it? Well, these are all data points. If this comes back to you and this is blank, either they're not collecting anything or they didn't fill it out. If they're not collecting anything, then you can just rip up the agreement and go about your business.
Okay.
If not, you send it back to them. One thing that I'm wanting folks to be cognizant of is the data points that they do put on here. Does a typing app need to know the gender of the child?
Okay.
I don't think so. So I want to empower you folks to be able to push back on some of these data points as well. That you can be like, why do you need to know the school bus stop? You don't need to know that. Not that they really ever ask unless it's like the school bus app, but like my son has. Exhibit C, definitions. Exhibit D is a model document. Within this is going to be left blank. We don't need to do anything with this. This is if you cease your agreement, this is something that you would send to them. Exhibit E, we just played with, right? You see how this is important? If the email address wasn't on Exhibit E, then that widget, Jeff, your thing would not have worked, where it automatically sent the email to the other group. This is what makes that widget work. You need to make sure that they sign their stuff. Exhibit F is all of the data security requirements. Exhibit G is left blank because of all the stuff that I was standing next to. If we were in California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, I could go on. But they would add extra stuff here. We in Utah don't do that. So it's kind of an incentive to vendors to sign with us in Utah. They like signing with us in Utah because we don't have all that extra stuff. Exhibit H. Now, if they did want to come back, remember how that one with Murray, it said vendor specific because Murray came back. This is where it would be checked. It becomes a vendor specific agreement because they come back and they change some of the terms. Okay. We would add it as a new agreement. Now, this is where it gets different. Christy, you are not going to add it as an other type of agreement because it's an NDPA, right? So we would add it, and you are the originator, or you're the vendor specific, and most times it's going to be this one.
Okay.
And then you upload it, and then we renew it, and we see what happens when people don't renew. It causes problems. It trickles down. But we would do that. Now there's a mysterious, you guys already know how to do this. View your expiring agreements or view your inactive agreements, right? And it will show you in here how to do that. So these are the 6 steps. Check that applications menu. If it's not on there, we're going to search the national database. We'll send them an agreement like we just did, and then we'll upload it after we check it. But then there's this mysterious 7th step that we haven't talked about. What happens if we still don't have an agreement? They don't want to sign. They're not on the menu. They don't have a privacy pledge badge. They don't have a state agreement. They don't want to sign a DPA, and your teacher still wants to use them. Okay, class, what is the only way we can get to a yes? I'm going to give a treat to whoever can answer this.
Parent permission.
Parental consent.
Yes.
Good job. That's it. We went through, that was a 91 slide presentation. You can watch the video at halftime. You can watch it as many times as you'd like. It'll go through all of those steps. Please use Katie's documents, the ones that have all of the state ones. Just go through line by line. Are we using it? Yes, I'm putting it in. Are we using it? No, I'm not putting it in. And then if you as individuals want to meet to make sure that we get your extra 10 in, John, I couldn't follow along. You're talking to 6 people at the same time. I need you to hold my hand. I will hold your hand. I have the capacity to do that. Does anybody have any questions before I stand up and stretch?
I appreciate it. Like it was so unclear, and this makes it so much more clear. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to say thank you so much. This is definitely an eye opener. I've kind of met with you once before, and this gave me so much clarity in comparison to the first time. So thanks.
Well, and that the hope is that, the only thing that we can give you guys is confidence. And by giving you resources and the ability to ask questions, like for real, this is like my main project right now because of how of where we're at. So I really want people to reach out to me. I really want you to be compliant. I really want you to be able to have this on your website and point to your teachers that come in July. What do we want? What can we use at our school? You say, go to this page. If it's not on there, then talk to me and I'll go to the menu and I'll figure out how to get you stuff. It's really just that easy. And if anything changes, you know, all of my stuff is in there and you can always ask me questions.
Thanks, John.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Emily, did you have anything that you wanted to bring up before I let them go?
Emily had to step off, she said in
I
her
think
chat.
Emily's gone. Yep. Okay. So guess what? You all get a leave and don't tell the teacher.
Thanks, John. Have a good one.
Okay, you guys have a great one too. Reach out.
Thank
Lee.
you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yep, I'll send out a recording.
Perfect. Thanks, John.